Hello everyone, this is Urvashi Yadav. Today I'll be teaching the most important topic of electrostatic, that is Coulomb law. Basically, this is the simplest law, but it is very useful because you already know that EMT plays an important role in board syllabus and as well as in competitive exam also. Okay, so it carries you can say maximum marks in the whole syllabus. So Coulomb's law is the part of electrostatic chapter. Okay, so now we will start with Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. Okay, this law was given by a scientist, that is Charles Augustin Coulomb. Okay, what this law basically says and why we use it. Okay, so first we can write this. First we will define this and then we will do some problems also to understand it in better way. Okay, so Coulomb's law basically it tells about the interaction between charges. It tells about the interaction between charges, how the charges interact with each other. Okay, so before writing the Coulomb's law, I want to say one thing. I will be discussing something about charges, some basic information. Okay, as we know that charge is basically a fundamental property of matter. You can say fundamental or intrinsic property. Okay, charge is basically of two types. Charge is basically of two types. First type is positive charge and the second type is negative charge. Okay, and you also know that some properties are there. These like charges, like, or you can say same charges repel each other. Same means positive or you can say negative. Same charges or like charges always repel each other. Okay, and the second property is that unlike charges, or you can say opposite charges attract each other. Opposite means one can be positive and other can be negative. Okay, so this is the basic property of charges. Clear? So now this Coulomb's law tells you about the interaction between the charges, how the charges interact, and how the force acts between these two charges, or you can say more than two charges. Okay, so now we will define this Coulomb's law. Let's suppose to understand this Coulomb law, first let's take an example. Let's suppose we are having two charges, plus Q1, okay, and plus Q2. These two charges are point charges. Point charges means these two charges are point charges. What do you understand by this point charges? Point charge means, let's suppose, because you already know that charge will be on some body, clear, on some mass. So, and body will be having its size also. Let's suppose if you are talking about, let's suppose this is a body. It is having a plus Q charge, clear? Now it will be having its size, that means its radius will be there, obviously. And let's suppose there is another charge, or you can say this, there is another charge, that is Q2. If the distance between them, that is R, if the distance between these two charges is very much greater than the size of the objects, then we can consider these two objects as point charges. Okay, if the distance between these two charges is very large, okay, very large from the size of the each object, then you can say this body will act as point charges. Okay, the charges on the body will act like point charges. Clear? So let's suppose you are having 2 point charges, because Coulomb's law is only valid for point charges. So let's suppose you are having 2 point charges. They are separated at a distance of R. Okay, R is the separation. Now you can see these two charges are positive charges are there. So now you know this property that positive charge will repel each other. Okay, so I can say this charge is one charge, this charge is second one charge. Okay, now what will happen? This plus Q1 charge will repel this plus Q2 charge. That means how it will repel? It will apply a force on Q2 charge. Similarly, the Q2 charge will also apply a force on Q1 charge. Clear? So I can say this is the force on Q2 charge due to first charge. Okay. And force is a vector quantity, so we have to write the direction also. That means that's why I have written it in vector form. Okay. Now similarly, this Q2 charge will also apply a force on Q1 charge. So I can write this is the force on one charge due to second. Clear? So both will apply a force on each other. Clear? Now what amount will be this force? What would be the formula of this force? So everything was told by Coulomb's. So now this Coulomb's law states that, now I can write it. It states that the force of interaction see, when I write this force of interaction, that can be repulsive force, that can be attractive. If the both charges are like charges, then the interaction force will be repulsive. Okay, if they are opposite charges, then the force will be attractive in nature. Okay, that's why I have used this word. So it states that the force of interaction between 2 point charges is equal to magnitude of, is proportional to, yeah, I have done this mistake, yes, is proportional to, it's not equal, it's proportional. It is proportional. That means if the magnitude of the charge will increase, then this force will also increase. So it states that the force of interaction between 2 point charges is proportional to magnitudes of charges. Okay, and it is inversely proportional, and it is inversely proportional to the square of distance, between them, and it acts along the line, joining these two charges. Okay, joining these two charges. That means it is saying that the force of interaction between them is directly proportional to magnitude of charges. That means Q1 and Q2, we have to take the magnitude. This force is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them, and it acts along the line joining the two charges. The line which is joining the two charges, the force will be along that. Okay, so from here, and Coulomb's law also told us this force of interaction also depends on medium. It also depends on medium. That means it will change. If you place the charges in vacuum, then the force of interaction will be different. If you place them in some air, you can say, or you can say in oil. Okay, if you place them in some another medium, then the force of interaction will be different. Okay, and other factors are kept at same conditions then. Okay, so now we understand this. So now we can write this formula. So the force, this proportionality sign, if we put equal sign, then there will be constant of proportionality. Okay, that would be K. Okay, so the force of interaction between these two charges will be equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is the magnitude of the forces, and you can say this is Coulomb's law written in magnitude form. Okay, and the value of K was found out to be 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This epsilon is the permittivity of the medium. It is a parameter which characterizes the medium, permittivity of medium. That's why I told you that this force depends on medium also. It changes with medium. Okay, so epsilon is known as the permittivity of medium. Okay, if so, This is the form of the Coulomb's law in magnitude form. If the medium is vacuum, okay, or you can say free space. If the medium is free space or vacuum, okay, then the permittivity of the medium, you can say of the free space, now medium is free space, that is equal to epsilon naught. Okay, we call the permittivity of the free space as epsilon is equal to epsilon naught, and its value was found out to be 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Okay, so now if you put this value, then this K will become the value of K. K will be 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught in vacuum, then its value will come out as 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay, so now you can say in vacuum the Coulomb's law become as, in vacuum Coulomb's law can be written as F will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, so this is the Coulomb's law. This tells about the force, and we had two charges. This charge is Q1, this charge is Q2. As you can see, the force of repulsion, or you can say there was a force of repulsion. Okay, this was the F2 and this is F12. The magnitude of the force is acted by one charge to on the other one is same. Okay, that means I can write F12 will be equal to F21. The magnitude of the force is same for both the charges, but their direction is opposite. Okay, so in vector form you can write F12 is equal to minus of F21. Okay, it's clear. So now we can do one question based on it. Okay, so let's suppose a charge Q is divided into two parts, such that when these parts are kept at some separation, then the force between them is maximum. Then the force is maximum. Okay, then the force is maximum. Find the value of charge. Find the value of charge on the body. Yeah, you can say find the value of charges in the body. Okay, on the two parts you can say. Okay, so you are having a total charge Q that is divided in two parts. Okay, you are dividing that total Q charge into two parts. Now you are having two charge and two charges. You are now what basically you are doing, you are separating them. Okay, now you are placing those charges at some separation. Now what is happening, when you place those charges at some separation, then there is a force will be acting between them, and the force of interaction is maximum. Okay, so how should you divide those charges such that the force between them is maximum, and you have to find the value of those charges. Okay, let's do this question. Let's answer it. You are having a total charge Q. Okay, let's suppose I am dividing in two parts. One part will be having a charge small q, and the other one will be having a charge capital Q minus Q. Okay, now the situation is like this. You are having this charge Q and you are having this charge Q minus Q. They are at a separation R. Now the force acting between them is maximum. So now from Coulomb's law we can write the force The formula for force, let's suppose the situation is in vacuum. If it is not given, it is not mentioned in the question, then you can assume that charges are in vacuum. Okay, so the value of force between them will be equal to F is equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is the general formula. So the value of force, you can write it K Q1. The value of Q1 is Q. The value of Q2 is Q minus Q divided by R square. Now, as you can see, this R is constant because separation is constant. This K is also constant. This capital Q is constant, but this small q is not constant. From here, you can say the force is depending on this small q charge. Okay. Now, and it is also told in the question that the force is maximum. Okay. That's kept at a separation at which the force between them is maximum. Okay. So I think you maybe have studied. So I told you, I tell you the one thing. If you want to find the maximum value of something, maximum or minima, the first condition is that the first derivative of that function will be 0. Okay. That means df by dq will be equal to 0. Okay. Because force is maximum. Now the formula of force is K Q into Q minus Q into Q divided by R square. Okay. So first you have to find it differentiation. Okay. So K by R square is constant. Okay. So now you can apply the differentiation. See, Q is like this, and the differentiation of capital Q minus Q will be -1 plus K by R square. Now Q minus Q will be like this, and differentiation of small q will be 1. You have to keep it 0. Okay, so K by R square you can take common out. So minus Q plus Q minus Q will be equal to 0. So you are left with Q is equal to 2Q. From here you can write small q will be equal to Q by 2. So the parts will be, one part will be equal to Q by 2. Second part will also be Q by 2. Okay. So if you divide a charge into equal charges and you kept at some separation, then the force between them will be maximum. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.